Hello there, lovely viewers and creators. It's wonderful to have you here on my channel, Sewing an Imperfect Life. You are very welcome. Here on my channel, I like to explore creative endeavors, especially sewing. I do love a nice bit of fabric and seeing what I can create with it. Sometimes I'm successful and I love what I make. Usually, I encounter a few challenges and have to do a bit of problem solving along the way. Today, I'm going to talk to you about some options for growing your sewing skills, all the way from absolute beginner to advanced techniques. If you have some other ideas about where you can go to grow your skills, please share them in the comments. We'd all love to read them and find out about them. I won't go into huge amounts of detail, but I will put the links below in the description box. If you are interested in some places you can go to grow your skills, then keep watching. I will be glancing down sometimes to look at my notes, so please excuse me. My first group of resources are some YouTube channels. These YouTube channels have terrific tips, tricks, and tutorials. I have 3 for you. The first recommendation for a YouTube channel I have is an Australian one, and it's called DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Deb from this sewing channel often posts great pattern reviews. And she puts together some really good tutorials of specific skills, or sometimes a tutorial for a whole pattern or even part of a pattern. For example, she's got a tutorial about applying bias tape to a hem, or how to put together the pleats on the back of a specific shirt pattern. From watching Deb's YouTube channel, which I personally really enjoy, she's really open to hearing what people would find helpful in her comment section, and she has put together some tutorials from viewers saying they're curious or they'd like to know more about particular things. My second recommendation for a YouTube channel that really helps develop sewing skills is quite a well-known sewing channel, and that is Sam from Sequin Girly Creates. Sam has lots of posts about how to get the most out of pattern variations, how to get a real bang for your buck by tweaking your patterns, and loads of tutorials on how to hack a pattern. For example, she's got a whole series on how to vary the sleeves on your pattern. So she kind of goes off on tangents and goes really deep dives into particular things like sleeves or collars or trousers and things like that, and gives really good tips and tricks, and even shows you how to take your pattern and adjust it. A really good resource there. Okay, my third YouTube channeler also has tips and tricks on her YouTube channel, as well as has her own online vintage sewing school, and her name is Evelyn Wood. On her YouTube channel, she puts out things like 10 things that are not in the pattern that you need to know, like little assumed knowledge bits and pieces, and things like what is ease, to tell you what that is, where to find it on the pattern, things like that. Her online vintage sewing school is a paid course. I did have a quick look, and she does a 7-day kind of like free intro if you're interested in that. My next little grouping of online courses to grow your sewing skills are related to pattern companies that also put together curated sets of tutorials or lessons about specific sewing skills. Some of them will be well known to you, and some of them might be a little surprise for you. Okay, my first recommendation is Seamwork. They offer beginner-friendly classes, step-by-step tutorials, and project-based workshops for all skill levels. So they have both free tutorials and tutorials that you get if you take on a membership. The free tutorials are usually to do with their patterns, so you need to buy the pattern and then you can access the free tutorial on how to do that. And a member's example is a really specific skill like an invisible zipper skill workshop. The next pattern company that does a really good set of tutorials and sewing lessons is Grainline Studio. They have great blogs and detailed sew-alongs for many of their patterns. And when I say detailed, wow, they really break it down. For example, for the Austin dress sew-along, it's broken down into 12 parts, and that is free. That's a blog with a YouTube lesson. So they break it down into 12 days or 12 small doable parts of that dress in great detail and clearly explained. Fabulous. They have other tips such as a quick guide to top stitching. So Grainline Studios, check it out for their patterns, but also for their lessons, their tutorials, and they have courses as well. My next two picks for pattern companies that do sewing lessons and courses and tutorials are perhaps the two that I'm leaning towards the most if I were to want to develop my skills that way. I really like what they have to offer and their ethos and the curated way they've put things together. So the first one is Sew Liberated. They have online courses such as the Mindful Wardrobe Project, Learn to Sew Your Clothes, Beginner to Intermediate, the Creative Hinterland, How to Make the Hinterland Dress Yours. And their promotion says they have courses for complete beginner to advanced sewists. And if you're not sure which course is right for you, you can use their GPS, which stands for Guided Placement for Sewists, to know where to start with their courses. I really like that. That's a great suggestion and a great way to guide people. My top pick at the moment is In the Folds. They offer tutorials such as just general sewing tutorials, pattern making tutorials, tutorials for garment fitting and other pattern resources. They have a skills library for finishing techniques, intermediate sewing techniques. They've got a whole set of courses called Curated by In the Folds, where you learn new skills each month, and they offer step-by-step tutorials that build your skills and confidence. I really like this because I feel like it's really thought through, and the set of courses and lessons and skills look really curated and thorough. My last suggestion of where to go and what to do to grow your sewing skills is very old school, and that is go in person to a class. Go local. You might go to a community college that's offered in your local area, or you might actually contact a local fabric shop. Fabric shops often have people in there during the week, and especially on a Saturday morning, offering small group sewing tutorials, or sometimes they're just get-togethers where people bring along their projects. When you go to an in-person sewing class, they're usually one of two things. They'll work on a specific project altogether step by step, or you can bring along your own project classes and be helped with it. Sometimes they will be anything sewing classes, sometimes garment, and sometimes patchwork classes. An example of this in my area, I found two things. There's a local community college where people in the area put their hand up to run courses, and there are some sewing courses. And another one is people would know of Tessuti Fabrics in Sydney, which is a little bit of a drive for me, but it's still local-ish. And they run a series of courses, and you can look up whether you want a beginning sewing course or look through their series of things and book in and attend that, and it might be a series of 4 workshops with 4 Saturdays in a row or something like that. I hope you found those suggestions helpful, and perhaps you found a resource that will help you just up your skills a little bit, or refine something, make something a bit easier, or just put a bit of joy and juice back into your creativity. If you've got anything to add to the list, please add it to the comments, as I said at the start. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. It's always great when you give me a thumbs up. That's really encouraging, and I know people are enjoying my content. Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed and you like the content, feel free to sign up. It'd be great to have you on board. I hope you are having a lovely day, staying safe, finding joy in your garments and finding joy in your creations. Bye for now, everyone.